Okay, welcome to another Frog Pop Star Ascension video. Today we're going to be talking about some of the new Epic Enchants. This is the names of all of them. I had to copy paste them. Also, I'm going to briefly talk about a little bit of Ascension news. I think I want to start covering the Ascension news, like what's new going on in the game. A lot of people don't seem to really be familiar with what's changing and all. I'm not going to cover it all in this video, but to briefly go over it, I think the Locust Ranger and like the Chimera Shot Hunter builds, and I think maybe regular Hunter builds might want to start incorporating Chimera Shot if they don't use Explosive Shot already. So if you don't know, they just like really buff the damage on this, but it shares a cooldown with Explosive Shot. But if you're running a Hunter build that doesn't use Explosive Shot, this is probably going to get better for you. I think like the Compound Power build might actually just want to run this instead of Explosive Shot if you were running Compound Power with Explosive Shot. But anyway, this is more single target while Explosive Shot's got some AoE to it. So just things to consider. There was more changes like the Eclipse in Legendary got buffed, but anyway, and some other things. So we're going to start covering the Ascension news, but not really so much in this video. What I do want to talk about today are the new Epic Enchants. So let's look at them. The first one is Beacon. There's really no better way to do this, unfortunately. So anyway, it's Beacon of Divinity. This is Divine Favor, makes 30% of your next direct holy heal on your Beacon of Light radiate outward, healing it to 5 low health raid members in addition to the beacon's target within 20 yards. Notice the wording there, raid members, so it's 5 lowest health of like everyone in the raid instead of your party members. Most mechanics like this are just your party members, so that's kind of nice. In addition, effectively healing with Holy Light reduces the remaining cooldown of Divine Favor by 2 seconds. So Divine Favor is really a spell I do not like very much at all. As you see, it's got no talents to interact with it. So no talents to interact with Divine Favor, which is a little cheat code if y'all don't know. If you look up a spell's name in this list, it'll give you all the talents that affect it, or that list it in its name, I should say. So anyway, so Divine Favor doesn't really have any talents to go with it, and when activated, it gives your next holy spell a 100% critical effect chance. So this new epic is only going to really work for Holy Healer, because this isn't going to, it doesn't have any interaction with like Smite or Holy Fire or whatever. So I mean, I don't know, this really, it's okay. I think it's gonna be tough to justify taking this, I think, because they're just 30% of the heal anyway. You know, it's going to be a big, you're going to use it. You'd be using it on a big Holy Paladin heal, but still, yuck. I don't know. I don't really like this one. I don't know. Maybe I'm misjudging it. It doesn't really look like anything special to me, but it exists. Now this one, Power Loop, is interesting. Your finishing moves have a 20% chance per combo point to grant you 2 stacks of Maelstrom Weapon. Consuming Maelstrom Weapon has a 20% chance per stack to give you 2 combo points on the target. These effects have a separate 6-second cooldown. Now, this is going to be very good for the White Walker build, and I'm thinking I'm not really thinking of too many other builds that are using Maelstrom Weapon and combo points other than this one, White Walker, because of the Slice and Dice and Slice and Ice, and this build needs so many combo points. So anyway, so I think it'll be good for White Walker, and it's probably what it's made for. There could be. There might be a few others. There might be a few others. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are a few other builds that are going to want to be using this. But White Walker is what really comes to mind, and I believe it has an Epic Enchant slot that's not really taken by anything amazing. That it can swap that in, which that's going to be kind of nice. So next we have Sharpshooter. So yeah, I think that one's kind of good. Let it go on the record. I think Power Loop seems kind of good. Sharpshooter teaches you Calibrate Aim, a channeled ability using your next shot to improve your aim. Shoot a ranged shot precisely in the middle of the channel to improve your calibration, increasing your ranged shot's critical damage bonus by 10% and making them pierce 10% of your target's armor. This effect lasts 20 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. Calibrate Aim has a 15-second cooldown. So I really don't like this because I'm sure most of us are playing with a bit of latency, a bit of lag here on Ascension because the servers are, you know, like in deep Russia or something. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said the R word because YouTube's gonna like find my video and smite me. But anyway, oh boy, yeah. Anyway, so I think the servers are there. So, like they're often some European country that's like outside of the law, I think, but. And that's why us in the USA have a bit of latency. So this is going to be a nightmare with latency. And what does in the middle even mean? Like, it's very hard to calculate that on WoW. Like the middle of a cast. I mean, and is there even an add-on you can use to fix this? Weak auras? No, I don't think so. Anyway, this is really, I don't know, this is going to be really difficult to actually use in practice. I could see this being a very frustrating thing to use. And it lasts 20 seconds and has a 15-second cooldown. So if you mess up once, you lose your stacks. Yeah, I don't like this. I really don't like this. I think this is going to be hard to use in practice. But we'll see, okay? We'll see. Yeah, because it's precisely in the middle of the channel. Oh, and I'm assuming it's like a 5-second channel? Or, because it says you can shoot during it. Who knows? Maybe it's a 3-second or something, but still, this is going to be very... I don't like this. This sounds annoying to do, and impossible if you are not closer to the server than most of us are. So jeepers on that build, on that one. I don't like that, although it looks good if you could actually use it. Although they did just reduce like all the armor on creatures, like in raids and such. And you're not gonna using a spell like that in PvP. In PvP, you're crazy because it's got the 20-second cooldown and it's got the 15-second cooldown and the 20-second duration. So that means you get like 5 seconds to get it back. And in PvP, you can be CC'd during that. You can be line of sight during that. So getting 3 stacks in any of the scenario in like actual PvP scenario, kind of ridiculous. So I'd forget about that for PvP. So shield finesse, using shield wall resets the cooldown of shield block. Using shield block resets the cooldown of shield slam. Using shield slam boosts the damage reduction of your critical block talent by additional 50% for 3 hits. Okay, this is probably just quite good for the tank builds. I don't tank very much on here. I need to. We're gonna, but you know, I need to get more into that. But this looks pretty good. I don't think they've got a lot of amazing epic enchants for a lot of the tank builds, and this is probably one of them. So this looks pretty good to me. Very reasonable little enchant. I think it's probably going to be quite nice. So that one looks quite nice to me. So Light of the Guardian. Oh, I missed this one when I went over them earlier. When I read them all before the video. Transforms your Holy Light into Light of the Guardian, a weaker instant castile that becomes usable after dodging, parrying, or blocking an attack. Oh, I did read this actually. From a monster and has a 6-second cooldown. Using Light of the Guardian radiates holy energy from the caster, dealing 70% of the amount healed as high threat damage shared between all enemies within 8 yards of the caster. Requires Righteous Fury. Huh. This, I bet, is kind of despicable for leveling dungeons. Like, this is probably so disgustingly good for leveling dungeons, and really might be just good in general, but I can see this especially leveling dungeons in particular. And you know, maybe mythics and stuff like this could just really, and of course in mythics you're still going to need some healing from an actual, you know, from another player. But in, you know, if you're just spamming weaker dungeons, and especially if you're leveling, because, you know, on Ascension, leveling culture is pretty big. Like, you know, a lot of people are prestiging often. I could see this, I could really see this being something else. Lots of self-healing. Anyway, yes, I think this one's quite good. Maybe this won't be so great in a raid, but I think this will probably be really good in dungeons, and especially good for leveling. Very despicable for leveling and like mob grinding and stuff. Like, this is going to be really good, I think. But yeah, it won't work in PvP, where it would be absolutely vile to play against, I'm sure. Okay, and combusting shots. Oh, combusting shots. So, combusting shots. Here it is. For 15 seconds after consuming combustion, the damage of your explosive shot is increased by 20%, and its critical strike chance on targets affected by your living bomb by 10%. Dealing damage with explosive shot reduces the cooldown of combustion by 3 seconds. This can only occur once a second. So this is interesting. I think this goes with this oh gosh, with this pyro shot. This pyro blast empowers your next aim shot with fiery shrapnel, dealing damage and cause your living bomb to explode when consumed upon impact. So these are meant to go together, but there's not really a legendary enchant to go with this build, which I bet you one's around the corner, because they've just, this pyro shot I think is fairly new as well, and they just buffed it, I believe. And now we've got this combustion shot, so I'm sure some sort of, you know, some sort of legend enchant that actually makes these tie together is going to be on its way. But I don't think, yeah, they're really, Seething Flames, I guess, is what you want to run with it right now, if you want to run this build. But I bet something's coming down the pipeline for real for it, a real legend enchant to tie that build together. So that's interesting. I don't really think it seems too crazy right now, but really, Fire Hunter is actually decent. It's actually decent as it is. It's just, you can just tell it doesn't have an amazing legendary enchant that really makes the build work. It's just okay. But if you want to play it, it's just okay. And so this Repentant Reconciliation. Critical healing with Holy Shot grants 1 stack. Critical healing with Riptide grants 2 stacks of Repentant Reconciliation. Casting Penance consumes all stacks, causing your penance to trigger an additional heal on nearby friendly targets. This effect heals for 25% more and heals 1 additional target for each stack of Repentant Reconciliation. Scales a circle of healing modifiers. So this, I think, is to go with Disciple of the Tides. This one, this like penance, chain heal, Riptide kind of build, which I think it will be quite fine for. Yeah, and I actually really like this Disciple of the Tide. I think this is a really fun healer. Feels pretty good to play it. This is actually one of my favorite of the newer healers. I really like this. So I think this is going to be pretty good for it. This Repentant Reconciliation. We'll see, but that looks pretty good. Give it some more AOE capability and such. So I'm excited for that one. This Prayers of the Penitent one of the Penitent of the I forgot of the Penitent. Here, this Prayers of the Penitent. Casting Prayer of Healing immediately after penance will unleash a wave of penance strikes hitting at the 4 nearby enemies. Each enemy may only be struck once. Triggering penance this way can proc effects. This effect can only occur once every every 6 seconds. But penance has, like, the lowest you can get your penance cooldown, I think, is still higher than, let's look. Penance. It's got a 12-second cooldown, and I know you can reduce its cooldown by 45% through, what is this? Through Aspiration and Aspiration Enchants. But is there Hasty Penance? There's not Hasty Penance. So you can't get it lower than 6 seconds anyway. So that's kind of useless wording there. But triggering the penance this way can proc effects. Okay, I wonder what that. Oh yeah, that's probably referring to grace and stuff. Anyway, I don't know about this. Like, this is like what, maybe if you're like trying to push like mythic keys or something, that you'd want this. You know, I don't think like a Smite Holy Fire kind of DPS build wants to throw a Prayer of Healing in the mix to get this effect. This is kind of interesting. I think, yeah, maybe if you're a healer and you want to like try to squeeze a little more damage into your dungeon build, this might be okay. I don't see this really showing up too much in Raid. You know, the Atonement healer might, because there's like an Atonement Legend Enchant that's on here, but I don't think you really are going to be using this. Yeah, it doesn't really seem too good. Maybe this Atonement build, but I've never run into this like in a raid or anything. I've never really seen this Atonement be used. But I guess that's the build that you'd pair that with if you want to try something eccentric. Okay, and let's see the Celestial Fury. Oh yeah, this Celestial Fury one's one I really need to try. But these enchants are very expensive right now. If anyone wants to be a be a hero and send them out to old Showpig here on Alar and let me test them out, that'd be just a dream. But for now, I can't afford them because it costs so much. It costs so much gold to make these videos. I don't know if you know that it costs a lot of gold to make these videos. I gotta test all these builds, buy all these enchants. Oh well. So, Celestial Fury. Your Nature's Grace no longer reduces the cast time of your Wrath, but instead makes your Wrath grant you up to 10 stacks of Celestial Fury. Your arcane spells and abilities consume 1 stack of Celestial Fury to deal bonus damage. Arcane damage to deal bonus damage based on stacks nearby enemies. It says they consume 1 stack, but it does more damage based on how many stacks you have. So I assume higher stacks is more damage. And it says grant up to 10 stacks. I bet you cannot have more than 10 stacks. So you can't, like, you know, get 1,000 stacks and blast somebody with this. So I don't know about this. Nature's Grace is this, which is a 20% haste when you crit with a druid thing. But it looks like this thing removes the... Looks like this removes the... Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't mention removing the requirement to crit. So... This will be kind of weird. I don't know who's going to really want to use this. So it is nearby enemies. So if you had this stacked up and used Starfall, which is an arcane spell, you'd be like proccing so much of this. And if the damage on this is decent, you would potentially really melt adds, which sometimes you need like to melt adds as soon as they appear in a raid fight. But this is kind of awkward. I bet this is better for like what Moonkin builds, like Moonkin, what is the word, Moonkin, like balanced druid builds, like Total Eclipse, which this was just buffed as well, by the way. So like Total Eclipse maybe wants to run this Celestial Fury in a dungeon or something, maybe a raid as well. I just did a guide on Total Eclipse and they go changing all this stuff, kind of making me want to update the guide. But anyway, okay. So next we have Poison Bomb. But I give a tentative stamp of approval to Celestial Fury. A lot of these are like focused around like giving builds a little bit of AoE. So this really is like more of a PvE patch, which we've been getting a lot more of these PvE patches, I'd say. So this is more of a PvE patch for sure, because I don't see too much PvP power in a lot of these. I mean, some of them flat out say they don't work in PvP. So next one's Poison Bomb. Enough of that. If you know poisons, you also learn Poison Bomb. You throw a Poison Bomb directly, inflicting the target with 2 stacks of deadly poison and leaving poison fumes for 6 seconds in the area, which applies 1 stack of deadly poison every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So this is 2 plus 5. So this is full stacks of deadly poison to whatever standard in the fumes, which is quite a bit of damage if you're a poison build. Using Envenom or Eviscerate has a 20% chance per combo point used to reduce the poison bomb's remaining quantum by 4 seconds. So, I mean, you know, that's pretty good. I assume it doesn't really do any damage on its own, it just stacks the poison, so this is just like an AoE option for a poison focused build, of which there I believe is Blood Venom and then Festering Wound is what I reckon these will be good for. So, I don't know, Poison Bomb. It sounds okay. It sounds okay. I have to see how this one does. I wouldn't really hold my breath on this one, but although those builds don't really, the Epic Enchant slot's not super competitive, and they don't have many options for AoE, so this is something for AoE for those builds. So that's pretty good. I'm sure it's gonna be pretty good. Certainly worth using if you are PvEing as a poison build for sure. Now Warbreaker, yet another AoE focused one. Makes Colossus Smash Warbreaker, stomps the ground, applying Colossus Smash effect on all targets and damaging them. Using Heroic Loop and Colossus Smash Warbreaker gives you a burst of adrenaline, giving you 60% movement speed for 3 seconds. So it's going to be a fun little enchant to have. It's actually doing a lot here. A Colossus Smash on all targets, you do that, then a Bladestorm, that's going to be really be an ad melter. Okay, it's really good. I think this is really quite good. I'm sure some of you, because these Colossus Smash builds a lot of times are also already like Whirlwind builds, so they just have high AoE naturally. So this is just I think maybe a rich get richer kind of enchant. But anyway, it's going to be pretty nice nonetheless. And if you're running like the arms focused warrior, then you didn't have much AoE at all, aside from like sweeping strikes, which is kind of suspect. So anyway, so this is pretty good. And the last one is Exsanguate. Oh, I spelled Exsanguate. This is it. While your Hunger for Blood is active, your Garrote and Rupture deal 30% increased damage, of course. Against players, it's 20%. And so Hunger for Blood is something Ascension reworked this, and 30-second cooldown, increases your physical and nature damage, and lasts 5 seconds per bleed you've applied to the target. So that enchant is a 30% bonus to Rupture and Garrote. So if you're running a bleed build, you have Rupture Garrote for 10 seconds. Then you have 1 point into deep wounds, so that's 15 seconds. And then I reckon you're also running Rend, which is going to be 20 seconds. And you could run, if you have Blood and Guts, then that would be 25 seconds. So you could have this enchant act, you can have that 30% bonus for Rupture and Garrote for 25 seconds, or just 20 seconds if you're running just the Rend, Deep Wounds, Rupture, Garrote, which is more realistic. But if you're also running Blood and Guts, that's 25 seconds of that, which is really quite a bit. That's really quite a bit. Blood Venom. This enchant is still temporarily disabled. Still, it's been so long. Okay, whatever. Wow, but Blood Venom could also run this, which of course it won't have Blood and Guts, but that would be what, 20 seconds? 20 seconds to 20% damage. It's got a 30-second cooldown, so really not bad at all. So I think that one's going to be pretty good. And because there's no other enchants that affect Hunger for Blood, and there's no talents that affect Hunger for Blood, so you can't like mess with lowering the cooldowns any further than it already is. Anyway, I think that is it for this video. I think these are pretty good. A lot of PvE stuff here, a lot of like PvE AoE. A new batch of legendary enchants, I imagine, is coming in the near future. We usually get some epics and later we get some legends. And so that's going to be nice, I think. I think these are okay. I can definitely see some of these hinting towards build like to legendaries that are coming in the future, because some of these don't really make too terribly much sense for what we have currently. But anyway, so yeah, look forward to my next video. Oh, I did hit 100 subscribers recently. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to be doing a little giveaway soon, I reckon. Anyway, that's all. Thank you.